A couple of things. I feel like the success of Elden Ring Nightreign has been somewhat divisive within the community because a lot of people really miss the more single-player aspects of FromSoftware games. And FromSoftware has essentially announced like two multiplayer-centric titles. Well, they announced two multiplayer-centric titles and they've released one of them. That one being Elden Ring Nightreign. They've also announced Duskbloods, which on top of everything is also going to be a Switch 2 exclusive game, at least temporary exclusivity. We don't know exactly when Duskbloods is going to be coming out. But I just want to point out to people that are kind of like feeling a little bit left in the dust, because I understand what that's like, right? You know, you're super fan of FromSoftware, then FromSoftware starts pumping out a couple of multiplayer games, which, by the way, are somewhat of experimental titles. So I can kind of like empathize there. There's people that are feeling a little bit left out. What I would have to say is, like, listen, it was just announced, I think a couple of minutes or maybe a couple of hours ago, that we are getting a State of Play tomorrow. So either at the State of Play tomorrow or at Jeff Keighley's event on Friday, I believe we're probably going to get another announcement from FromSoftware. That would be my expectation. So if you are more concerned about the single player aspect of things, that might be something that you will want to into, because I believe that at those events we will get another title announced. However, today I wanted to celebrate Nightreign a little bit because as you guys may or may not be aware, I've been super addicted to this game over the last 2 weeks. I played it during the review period, continued playing it afterwards, and I've been absolutely having a blast. I think you can tell when I'm on my streams, even if in the last stream you saw me like very frustrated because I've been playing spellcasters and I don't like playing spellcasters. It's not really my thing, but I still really enjoy the gameplay loop of Nightreign. Now, it is not perfect. Obviously, this is their first foray into like a multiplayer centric title. So naturally, they're not going to get everything right. But I kind of feel like what they have done is really, really good. Like, I really like it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it today before we start our stream. So number one of the issues that I've heard from people is actually something that I haven't experienced, which is performance. A lot of people I heard have been complaining about performance. I haven't really seen Digital Foundry analysis. I don't know if there's one of those or not, but I was very surprised when I've heard about this, because usually when you have performance issues in games, where they tend to reveal themselves as going to be AMD cards. So the GPU that I use on this computer right here is a 7900 XTX. Game's running silky smooth, no issues whatsoever. Back home, I have a weaker GPU, and my computer back home also. No, was the computer back home? Was this one? Yeah, the computer back home. My computer back home also, the motherboard was damaged, so I had to replace the motherboard, and now I can't get the same clock speeds on the RAM. So suffice to say, a lot less powerful than the computer that I have here on a 6900 XT, by just putting down shadows a little bit and tweaking the anti-aliasing a little bit lower. Silky smooth 4K 60 FPS, no issues. Now, is it fantastic that it's still locked to 60 FPS? I wish we could go higher, but the game is unfortunately locked at 60 FPS. That's a little bit disappointing, but like, performance issues I haven't experienced, but I believe that there are performance issues there for sure. If people are complaining, like, GPUs nowadays extremely unreliable, NVIDIA is fumbling drivers left, right, and center. AMD is AMD, so they're not fantastic. But you know, hopefully they can get those performance issues under control. I don't know if anybody in chat has experienced any of those performance issues, but that is like one of the problems that they need to overcome. Now, another issue that the game has, crossplay. We need crossplay. I hope that that is something that's in the cards. They haven't said anything about that. I really hope that we can get crossplay, because that will just extend the lifespan of the game. I just spoke with some of my friends that are like, they got the game on PlayStation. I was like, oh, damn, can't play with you guys because I'm only on PC, which kind of sucks. Really wish they would do crossplay. Hope that's something that they consider. Another thing that I think would be good, more randomization. After a while, you're going to start recognizing a lot of the things that are on the map, which is to be somewhat expected, even though I feel like it'll take you quite a few runs to really master the map. Like, how many hours am I in? I am 75 hours almost into the game. I still feel like there are certain areas of Limveld that I don't know, and that's not even talking about all of the different events and whatnot, because the map itself changes depending on the map events that are there. But I think that having more randomization is something that we could definitely do with. One thing that would be just like chef's kiss would be additional maps. I think that additional maps might even be more important than more Nightfarers and Nightlords, which are already announced as DLC. We'll talk about that a little bit further ahead. But like more randomization, 1 or 2 more maps would be so good. More events on the map, and maybe even have the events happen more frequently. Like yesterday we had, I don't know, friggin' how many runs had no events whatsoever. So yeah, I don't know. I wish that the events would also happen more often. I know that you can kind of like control, you can, you know, go to bed and sleep and whatnot, but I think that only works for canceling the events. I don't know if that works for actually triggering them. I was trying to do that yesterday before stream and I wasn't able to, so maybe I messed something up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I wish we'd had more events, but overall, I've been having a blast. There are still things that need to be addressed, and hopefully they'll improve on some of these things. We'll talk more about those, but one of the main reasons why I really enjoy this game is the session-based nature. Because, like, for instance, say you want to play Elden Ring with a friend, like from beginning to end. I know we have the seamless mod now. I don't know how seamless mod handles, like, if somebody is over-leveled from somebody else. But let's say if you and your friend are trying to play Elden Ring, one of you is likely going to have more time to play. The person who has more time to play the game is going to get stronger. How are you going to handle that? Well, you're either going to carry your friend or the game's going to scale you down. I don't know if seamless mod scales people down. I don't know how that stuff works. But it's just like, it's not an optimal experience, right? And you can kind of like extrapolate from this onto pretty much any RPG that has co-op, or even Monster Hunter. So if I'm playing Monster Hunter and I'm trying to play through the whole game with a friend, you know, if I have more time to play than my friend, I'm going to become, you know, exponentially stronger because I'm going to be able to craft better gear. Now, when I get together with my friend, I'm going to just like destroy all of the monsters, and my friend's going to be sitting back going like, oh, wow, this is so fun watching you be the main hero of my story. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm really enjoying myself, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can nerf yourself down, but that's never going to be an optimal experience, right? You can kind of like, oh, well, let me swap into low rank gear so we can go hunt this low rank monster, all of that. Whereas in a session-based cooperative experience, which was what we're getting in Nightreign, you get that little RPG slice, like a 45-minute RPG slice where you're all on the same level. Like, sure, there's the relics and whatnot, but the relics don't really make you giga-roided out, like, super mega hyper killer of all creatures. It's not really going to do that. Like, yeah, it's going to make you more powerful, but it's not going to be like, I don't know, the difference between high rank equipment and low rank equipment in Monster Hunter, or the difference between having a plus 20 weapon in Elden Ring versus having a plus 5. It's not really going to make up that gap. So at the end of the day, when you're coming into one of these runs, like a 3-player co-op run, you're still going to be expected to carry your weight. That's cool, because, you know, you still need everyone's contribution to really pull through and to really defeat the Night Lord at the end of the day. Not just the Night Lord, but also the Night Bosses and leveling up and all of that stuff. It is all dictated by the experience, all of the players involved. And that session-based thing, I just really like it. And I really hope that more games do stuff like that. So what we also have here is, as I wanted to kind of just like celebrate, is we have the concurrent numbers for Elden Ring Nightreign right now, which was, the peak was on launch day. I think that this was Friday, if I'm not mistaken. 313,593 players. Pretty good. It's way more than I expected. Like, I expected it to peak below 100K. That was my expectation, because it's just a very different experimental type of game. And I guess you could expect that the Elden Ring name was going to carry it hardcore, since Elden Ring was as successful as it was. But due to the nature of what this game was advertised as, I did not foresee it reaching above 300K. And on top of it, it is actually maintaining that player base. That means that the people who have played it are sticking with it, like they're enjoying the experience. The biggest dip that we see here was yesterday morning. And the reason why there's a massive dip here is because the servers went down to apply the new patch, which made solo a little bit more friendly. So this phenomenal numbers, like right now, this is Tuesday afternoon in Portugal. So this is far and away from like peak hours for pretty much any time zone. Usually you don't get like, well, I guess maybe it's peak hours in Japan or something. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what Japan, but it doesn't matter. But it's like, other than Japan, this is like not peak hours in the US, not peak hours in Europe, not by a long shot. This is just like straight up not peak. And we are at 233,000 concurrents, which is pretty friggin' good. Now, on top of that, they've announced that they were able to ship 3.5 million units. So this, I believe, means that these were copies that were sold to stores. So that means that a lot of those will actually become sales. At least a lot of them have already become sales if they've already ordered 3.5 million. I've heard someone say that it was 3.5 million copies sold. I'm not sure if that is correct or not, but whatever. 3 million for this title, which by the way is a $40 title. It's an experimental title, reuses a lot of the assets. This is probably way more than even FromSoftware expected for this video game. And to me, that is absolutely phenomenal. Now, another thing is, in here they also talk about the night is far from over, an additional to DLC releasing later this year. That DLC is going to constitute of at least Nightfarers and Night Lords, so new classes, new bosses. They've also said that they're going to be implementing new additions, including enhanced fights against existing Night Lords. So essentially, I would expect a hard mode for the existing Night Lords, which is pretty cool. Because if you play your cards right, you're going to get to these Night Lords really powered up. That's not going to happen all the time, but there are going to be harder versions of these fights that you can go and beat up on monsters, which is going to be really, really cool. And then on top of it, they're also going to be adding duo expeditions at a later date. I'm a little bit more hesitant on the duo expeditions. I may be convinced otherwise, but right now I'm a little bit hesitant on that. I'll try to explain to you guys why. But overall, it just feels like really good news all around for Elden Ring. It's doing good. It is not perfect. There are a couple of things that definitely need to be improved, like we talked about: performance, crossplay, more randomization, all of that. One of the things that is also brought like right up in here, way of communications. Yes, we should have just like voice comms in the game built in. Even though, you can use Discord, you can use a bunch of other stuff, but you kind of like have to sync up with the randoms that you get. So having voice comms should be a thing. I understand that there's probably fear of like toxicity and stuff like that, but like, look, toxicity is always going to be a thing on the internet. That's why there's a mute button. So you just like block whoever is an asshole to you, and then you just don't get match made with them again, hopefully. And that's pretty much all you can hope for. But, yeah, I think that definitely adding communication, kind of a big W. Now, when it comes to the duo side of things and even the solo side of things, because the team has made the game more friendly towards solo, one of my criticisms is I fear that if you take too many people away from the 3-player queue, you're going to end up with an anemic player base. Now, obviously, right now we have 200,000 concurrent players and climbing like 235,000 now. So the player base is quite healthy. But not having crossplay, eventually if this starts, dwindling a little bit as people beat all of the Night Lords, experience all the content that they're interested in doing, the player base might dwindle a little bit. And especially if you start taking people away and put them in a solo experience, there's going to be less people that want to play it as a 3-player. And if you add duos on top of that, which they've already confirmed they are, initially my thought process was like, oh, duos going to be so good because you can just get another friend and go. And it'll be interesting to see how duos feels, but it's just that right now, I really feel that the director nailed it when he said this is a 3-player experience, because 3 players is like the thing that gives you it's the right size. I don't know how else to explain it. It just feels right when you're playing with 3 players. I don't know how playing with 2 players is going to feel, and I'm just a little bit hesitant to take people away from the 3-player matchmaking, because I don't know, the 3-player just feels right. I could be wrong there. Who knows? what the deal is with that, but I don't know. I'm just having a ton of fun, and it's a little bit sad that whenever I make a post like celebrating, oh my god, I'm having so much fun with Elden Ring Nightreign, a bunch of people show up and just go like, fucking from slop. I fucking hate it. It's a piece of garbage. And I'm like, okay, how much did you play it? Oh, I didn't. I hate it so much. So you never even played it, huh? Okay, it's cool. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to, but it's like, understand it. Like I said at the start, you're likely going to get the announcement of another single player FromSoftware title between tomorrow and Friday. That would be my expectation. There's no way they don't announce a game at Jeffrey's at Jeff's show at the Summer Game Fest. I don't believe that will be the case. But for now, it's like Nightreign's a ton of fun. I don't know what to tell you. I like it a lot. It's not perfect, but it is a ton of fun. It's a really cool co-op experience, very challenging, and I like playing it. It is what it is.